Welcome back to Up West Sports. My name is Gavin Height, and we have another banger for you today as we slide into part 2 of the 5-part series of the top 50 uncommitted and underrated players Wazoo should target this offseason. If you're joining in after watching part 1, you'll know that we've covered the top 10 already, and we are now moving on to numbers 11 through 20. As always, if you're not currently subscribed, please feel free to subscribe as we will have plenty more of this content coming your way over the transfer portal season. It's completely free for you, and it helps us out tremendously. Let's dive in. Coming in at number 11, Jabriel Mace, apologies on the pronunciation there, running back out of Villanova, sophomore, 5'9", coming from Summers Point, New Jersey. And let's take a look at some of these stats and why I chose him at number 11. So starting off, as a running back, his rushing stats. Through the 15 games he played, 128 attempts, 946 yards, 11 touchdowns, with a long of 82 and an average of 7.4. Not friggin' bad. Heading down to the receiving side, 20 receptions, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, 31 long. And then the other thing that really kind of separates him is his kick return. 23 attempts, 735 yards for 2 touchdowns and a long of 100. We actually do have a video of that, and now you kind of see it put to work. So here he is to take the kickback from Shane Gillis's alumni. Finds the hole, and he is off to the house. Mace is a dude that you want to pay attention to and why he's number 11. And coming in at number 12, we have out of Furman University, Joshua Stone King, 6'3", 264, defensive end, listed as a redshirt junior, so he'll be a redshirt senior coming in next year. By way of Raleigh, North Carolina. And what makes him stand out, let's jump right into the stats. In the 12 games he's played, 42 solo, 37 assists for a total of 79 tackles on the year, 23 tackles for a loss, and 14 and a half sacks with 2 pass deflections and 2 forced fumbles. This kid is somebody that you want to see on your defensive line. He could, at the very, 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 very least, add depth to a good defensive line. But I think this kid, especially as a redshirt senior, jumps up and makes a very good impression at the next level and gives himself that opportunity if he decides to jump in the portal. Jumping into some footage here, you'll see him on the end. Bam! Got his ass. Boom. Joshua Stone King. Put it on the board. Oh, and I couldn't forget the celebration there. Yeah, Joshua Stone King, I want to see this kid in Pullman. All right, coming in at number 13 is a linebacker out of Sumner, Washington, by way of Sumner High School, who is back-to-back state champs, by the way. I do have another video. If you kind of search through the high school videos, you'll see him on there, and you'll see Sumner with winning the state championship. But linebacker listed at 6'2", 220, Austin Glavar. This kid is severely underrated, in my opinion. Just because he's number 13 on my list does not mean he is not a top-tier player. I think this kid's ceiling is very high. The way he shoots the gap, the way he plays is very next level. I really think that this is I don't know why he's not rated on 247. I don't know if they didn't get enough film or they didn't get enough guys out there. Shout out to 247. You guys do a great job. You missed one. Austin Glavar, severely underrated. Let's take a look at what's going on under the hood. So he's got, it looks like maybe one offer from Portland State. Not sure if he's being talked to by anybody else. Checking the timeline, it looks like, yeah, Portland State might be the only offer he has currently. Curious to see if there's anything else going on, but this kid is severely underrated. Let's get into some film. So here he is, setting up outside, crashing the edge. Boom. Right to the QB. Doesn't quite get the sack, but man, what a play, what a hurry. And here's another play. Great read, straight to the ball. Closing gap speed is pretty damn good too. And then here we see him shoot the gap extremely well. Boom. See ya. Yeah, I like this kid. I think he's severely underrated. And I think he might have a chance to do something his freshman year, but if it's not his freshman year, over the course of his... Boom! Got him! Look at this kid, man. We need to get this kid in Pullman. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, if this kid doesn't do a whole lot his freshman year, his ceiling is incredibly high. I can see him being a Parker McKenna by his second year, being in that tier. Honestly, I think he's got a lot to grow with. So number 13, Austin Glavar. Oh, we'll take a look at one more here. Boom, just a beast. And that brings us to number 14, Silen Kiso Kauhane. I apologize if I'm getting these names incorrect. I am trying my best here. Correct me if I am wrong. I do want to try my best to get them correct. Edge, defensive end out of Richland, Washington, by way of Richland High School. He sits at 6'4", 215 pounds. He's rated an 83 3-star on 247 Sports. Also, the composite is at 83 as well. And then as we shuffle down here to see the college list on the cool pile, he has Portland State, and on the warm pile, University of Idaho. And that that new head coach that they got going on, and everything they got going on at Idaho is incredible. They're in for a great future with that head coach. He's done a fantastic job. Wazoo and them, they had a pretty good battle. I got to tip my cap to Idaho. But he is on the warm pile there. This is just another kid I want to see hopefully land in Pullman on the other side of the Palouse. And as we shuffle down here, it looks like he's done the visit at Idaho, and he's gotten the offer from Portland State and from Idaho. Now let's shuffle over to some video. So here he is on the defensive line. He's number 14 there. Crashes it, boom. Athletic, big, gets to the gap. There he is on the end. Just bullies his way. Man, these offensive linemen just don't stand a chance with this kid. Here he is again. Looks like he sets up a little bit outside on the Leo side, or on the linebacker side, however you want to put that. Man, this kid is good. There he is again on the end. Crashes, bang! Athletic, tall. Woo, we need this kid in Pullman. Here he is again, setting up at linebacker. Good closing speed. Good vision, good strafe. In the 3-point. Boom, boom, boom. Crashes and gets the assist on the tackle there. We'll check out one more video here. And boom. Great read. Love this kid. Get him to Pullman. And that brings us to number 15, Dylan Titiali. I apologize again if I got that one wrong. I have heard it pronounced Tishali, and I'm taking my best guess with Titiali. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I want to make sure I'm getting it correct. But I did give two phonetic breakdowns. Hopefully one of them is correct. If I'm completely off, definitely roast me. But linebacker, another guy out of Sumner, Washington, by way of Sumner High School. So he's a two-time state champ. Linebacker that sits at 6 foot, 205. Also not rated and severely underrated. These linebackers at Sumner, I mean, this Sumner team in general, like, you should want a lot of these guys. Completely underrated. I put him in my top 15 because this kid's got a lot to work with. Right now, looks like he's cool with Portland State. Not sure if he's talking to anybody else. Looks like that is his only offer at the moment. But another kid that's severely underrated in my opinion. Would love to see this kid in Pullman. Let's check out some of the highlights. So the only highlight video I could find was from a year ago. Huddle had a couple that was kind of spliced, so I went with the players' fee. Make sure to check out their video. Want to make sure I'm giving them credit for this video. But I wanted to at least pull it out so you at least see their stuff, and then we'll dive in here. But looking at this kid as a linebacker, I really like this kid. Plays the game really well. You see him on both sides of the ball as a running back as well. They had Lance McGee, so they had two linebackers that were great, and then they also had two running backs. Lance McGee recently committed to Oregon State. Kid was incredible. But yeah, just seeing this kid from the defensive side, good vision. Yep, I like this kid. Let's give him to Pullman. And coming in at number 16, we have Felix Diaz. Now, I couldn't find anything really on 24/7. Don't know why this kid's not on there. This is another severely underrated player in my opinion. But I did find his prep red zone page, which he's listed as 5'8", 180. Went to Mount Tahoma. Shout out 253. And yeah, I mean, this is just a little small breakdown, just some sort of a profile that I could find on him. We did find some video. Mount Tahoma had an epic year this year. They went all the way to state championship, played O'Day. Unfortunately, they fell short, but Mount Tahoma making that run, just incredible. There's a couple more Mount Tahoma players that I want to get to on this list as well. But Felix Diaz, we're going to go ahead and start it off here, and let's check out some video. So this is actually from the state championship game. He had a heck of a run here. Boom. O'Day is a really good. We mentioned in the last video. O'Day is a powerhouse in the state of Washington, but also kind of in the nation. They may not be top 10 every year, but they are very, very good. And yeah, just look at this kid. He is incredible the way he runs the ball. I want to see this kid in Pullman. Let's check it out. We got more. Boom. See ya. Dude, with the jukes. Yeah, Kirby Moore's going to love this kid in Pullman. I hope something happens there between Kirby Moore and Felix Diaz here. Just seeing this kid's highlight, like, there's a reason I put him in the top 20 as well. Boom. Threads the needle. He's in. All right, we'll go one more here. Check it out. Through the gap. Breaks the tackle. Kind of breaks the second one, and he's in. Oh. We got one more here. Had to show this one, just completely unscathed. So yeah, just to kind of wrap things up on Felix Diaz out of Mount Tahoma. Would love to see this kid in Pullman. There's a lot to like here, especially from the running back side, especially fitting into Kirby Moore's scheme and what he's done with running backs in the past. Yeah, I want to see this kid in Pullman. Now this brings us to number 17, a quarterback out of Ferris State University, which is a Division II program. Wyatt Bauer, quarterback, 6'2", 200 pounds, by way of Corunna, Michigan. He was a redshirt freshman this year. It is worth noting he just won his second national championship. This time he got to actually play. Last year, obviously getting the red shirt, but he has 2 national championship rings. And looking at the stats here, you can kind of see through the 14 games, he had 1,980 yards, 21 touchdowns. Just to kind of dig a little bit deeper, he was 128 of 208 attempts, 61.5 passing percentage, had under 2,000 yards. The 21 touchdowns to 4 interceptions is really what intrigues me about this guy. Also, him being a redshirt freshman. This kid, he's good, and he just won his second national championship. First one actually as the starting quarterback. With how young he is, with how talented he has shown, I think the ceiling on this kid is very high. And kind of, just with 2 national championships, you got to be wondering, what is his plan moving forward? Is it to try and get drafted out of a Division II, which I have nothing but the utmost respect for that. But let's take a look at his stuff and just kind of see where he's at. So as you can see on his Twitter, it breaks down. Yep, 2-time national champion. I bet it was pretty fun typing that in not too long ago. They just won it, I want to say a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. But there he is with the trophy. And as you kind of scroll down, you see all the cool highlights. Ferris State is just a force to be reckoned with at the Division II level. I would not be surprised if in the near future they make the jump to FCS. They have been that good. They are a solid school in general. And yeah, I really just wouldn't be surprised to see them make that move. But what I really wanted to get to is down here, and they did beat Harding, which is they're very good, is this right here.
Guy in there now on first down from the 30. Bauer with time to throw, going through his progressions and making the catch all the way to the 45-yard line. A throw by Wyatt Bauer. He put it on the butt. Second down and 12. Rose in motion. Bauer will fling it toward the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Bulldog.
Yeah, there's a lot to like here. Granted, he's coming from Division II, which if you're out there paying attention, Trinidad Chambliss went to this school. He went to Ferris State, then he went to Ole Miss, and he's been killing it there. Yeah, I like this kid. I wouldn't mind taking a chance on him and just seeing what that looks like. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of competition at that level. There's no guarantee he's going to come right in and be the guy, but he would be the front runner in most scenarios if he were to come in and take a position at Wazoo. Granted, if he decides to enter the portal, again, I do respect him and his decision. If he decides to stay at Ferris State, if anything, this is more just, dude, you crushed it this year. I want to give you a platform. You've done a fantastic job. Wanted to give you a big shout out, but this kid can pass. And coming in at number 18, you have outside linebacker Keyshawn Johnson from UT Martin, which is also an FCS school. But just a name like Keyshawn Johnson, yeah, there's a reason he's on that list for that right there alone. You gotta enjoy that name. But outside linebacker, 6'3", 230, originally out of Belle Glade, Florida. Did go to Grambling State, has already transferred to UT Martin from there. So that part alone, it's always tricky getting a third transfer out of a guy. Just, do you want to uproot your life again? There's a lot of kind of key factors that kind of go into that. It is going into his senior year, should be noted. So I'd be curious if he's open to that or if he's already entered the portal. If he hasn't, that'd be something just to kind of keep tabs on. Is does he want to make that jump again, or what's the situation kind of look like? But let's check the stats, see where he's at. So here's his stat line. Here's what we like about him. Through the 12 games he played, he had 30 solo tackles with 23 assists, 53 total. He did have 20 tackles for a loss, including 13 and a half sacks and 2 forced fumbles. That is what we like on the defensive line. Definitely putting up good numbers, and is somebody that can seamlessly make his way to the FBS level and do a great job, in my opinion. I mean, the guy was an All-American. There's a lot to like here, and I believe we have some footage. Let's check it out. So let's check him out on the D-line, at outside linebacker. Boom. Yep, and he called game with that too. So, yep. This kid, I like. Let's get him to Pullman. Come on. This brings us to number 19, defensive lineman Kamari Brown out of Elon University. He's Shane Gillis alumni right there. Defensive line out of Jacksonville, North Carolina, 6'2", 220, and currently a sophomore looking to go into his junior year. This kid looks the part. I mean, he's incredibly big. I'd like to see some of these numbers just so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. Break it down here. Through the 12 games, he had 39 solo tackles, 27 assists for 66 total on the year, 16 tackles for a loss, and 12 sacks with 1 pass deflection and 3 forced fumbles. So, yeah. This kid's going to be big on the line. If he decides to jump out, I haven't seen anything about him wanting to make that move for transfer portal season. But if he does, this is an underrated guy. I think you need to take a look at him and just, actually, let's get into some film. So here he is at Elon, and let's check out some of his highlights. Boom. He's got some moves on the line. He is a beast on the line. Boom. Boom. There he is. Yep. There's one of the forced fumbles. Love it. Here's William and Mary. Solid school. Holding. Still gets it. Bam. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's also a true sophomore too. So this is you're kind of like a redshirt freshman as far as age goes and everything. So, bam! Yep, get this kid to Pullman. And this brings us to our final one of this part of the series. In number 20, Andrew Zock, defensive lineman out of Mercer University, another FCS school. He's listed as a sophomore, but this is the 2026 football roster, so he'll be a sophomore next year. I believe he was a true freshman last year, and he put up some good numbers. 6'2", 250 out of Citrus, Florida, by way of Hawthorne High School. And yeah, let's dive into these stats. Through the 12 games, 24 solo tackles, 22 assists, 46 total, 20 tackles for a loss, 11 and a half sacks, 4 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles and a fumble recovery. This kid was all over the ball, and I believe he was a true freshman. So I'd like to see what this kid can do. In fact, I think I have some fun news for you as far as transfer portal goes. Let's pop on over. And here on his Twitter, you'll see, or Twitter X, whatever you want to call it. I'll probably still call it Twitter till I die. I'm still calling it Safeco too, by the way. But boom, there you have it. The thank you, Mercer. Thank you, God, in advance. He's taken off with 2 years of eligibility, just popping it up for everybody to see. And he's in the portal. He is open for business. Would like to see this kid, at the next level, hopefully in Pullman. Let's see if we can't find any video. Boom. There you go. And in the backfield, man, this kid, and that's against Alabama. Just a heads up, that last tackle was against Alabama in the backfield. And this is North Dakota State. They're no joke. North Dakota State is a powerhouse at the FCS level. And then Furman, hit and miss. They had one guy that we talked about earlier. Boom. Yeah. This is going to be a hot commodity. You might have to fight some other teams for this kid. Very curious to see on how his career progresses. If it's not in Pullman, but man, oh man, do I want this kid in Pullman. And just coming from, wow, against Bama too again. Boom. Yep, get this kid to Pullman. Thanks for popping in today. For numbers 11 through 20, we have more coming your way this week here on Up West Sports. Stay tuned for the rest of the top 50 with some honorable mentions. My name is Gavin Height, and just remember, life's too short. Gas up your boys.